On the night of April 22, 2025, 16-year-old Heloysa Maria Alencastro was kidnapped from her own home. Hours later, her body was found at the bottom of a well, showing signs of violence with her hands and feet tied. The case was solved in under 10 hours, exposing the cold-blooded nature of a premeditated crime and the terror the victim endured. Hey everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to another video here on the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the Heloysa Alencastro case, an incident that happened in the city of Cuiabá, the capital of Mato Grosso. Guys, this case is absolutely outrageous. To be honest, I didn't know about it, but some people sent it to me as a suggestion, and I was able to find enough information to make a video for you. Well, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Heloysa Maria de Alencastro Souza was 16 and lived with her mother, Suelen de Alencastro Arruda, in the Morada do Ouro neighborhood of Cuiabá. She was a high school student, described by her family as a cheerful young girl full of dreams and a promising future. Heloysa loved spending time with her friends and was well liked by her classmates. But like many teens, she faced the challenges of growing up in a family with complicated relationships. Suelen, her mother, was recently involved with a 40-year-old public official. Though the relationship was new, sources say arguments were frequent. Heloysa, living with her mother and stepfather, never imagined Benedito would be the architect of her fate. To understand the crime, we need to go back to what motivated Benedito. It all started when he found messages on Suelen's phone exchanged with her ex-husband. The content of those messages wasn't revealed, but it's known that Benedito flew into a rage after seeing them. Driven by jealousy, Benedito planned a gruesome act to kill not only Heloysa, but also Suelen as an act of revenge. Commissioner Guilherme Bertoli stated that Benedito even invited his own son to take part in the crime, knowing he'd need help to kill both Heloysa and Suelen. Benedito, an official at the Secretariat of Science, Technology and Innovation, SECITEC, had a dark family history. His brother, Alessino Anunciação de Santana, was sentenced in 2021 to 21 years in prison for killing his ex-partner, Domingas Cecilia. Besides his 18-year-old son, Gustavo, Benedito also recruited two 17-year-old teens to join the crime. These teens were Gustavo's schoolmates. On the afternoon of April 22, 2025, Benedito put his plan into motion. He gathered his son, Gustavo Benedito Jr. Lara de Santana, and the two 17-year-old friends. Benedito drove them to Suelen's house in the Morada do Ouro neighborhood. According to Commissioner Guilherme Bertoli, the plan was to stage a robbery to cover up the real goal, murdering Heloysa, then Suelen. Benedito took advantage of Suelen being out and Heloysa being home alone, probably doing homework or resting. The plan was cold and calculated. Kill Heloysa before her mother returned, then attack Suelen, making it look like a violent robbery. After setting the crime in motion, Benedito, as a SECITEC driver, left for a work call, leaving his son and the two teens to carry out the plan. Around 6 p.m., the nightmare began. Heloysa was attacked and killed by mechanical asphyxiation inside her own home. The report from Mato Grosso's Politec confirmed she was brutally beaten before being suffocated. The criminals used charger cables to beat her and then tied her hands with the same cables. After the crime, Gustavo and the two teens called Benedito by phone. After that, the trio put Heloysa's body in the trunk of a white HB20 vehicle that was at the house and belonged to her mother. They drove to a wooded area in a neighborhood called Ribeirão do Lipa, just a few kilometers away. They dumped the victim's body in an abandoned well 26 to 30 feet deep, covered with a sheet. The lead investigator said the trio was careful disposing of the body and hiding evidence. Unaware of what happened to her daughter, Suelen returned home around 8 p.m., accompanied by a friend carrying a baby. Gustavo stayed nearby watching, while the two teens waited inside for Suelen. When Suelen entered, she was brutally attacked. The friend was spared because of the baby. Benedito ordered the teens to kill Suelen, but for some reason they didn't have the guts and left without finishing the job. Suelen was left badly injured in the house. Benedito then staged a calculated move. He returned pretending to know nothing and took Suelen to the Jardim Leblon Emergency Clinic, UPA. Security cameras at the clinic show him parking, grabbing a wheelchair, and assisting Suelen. Interestingly, Cuiabá's mayor, Abilio Brunini, was also there and helped care for her. Benedito, pretending to be worried, posted on social media asking for help to find Heloysa, a sham exposed hours later. Around 10:20 p.m., the 10th Military Police Battalion found a white HB-20 car with no plates in the Ribeirão de Lipa area. Near the car was a well, its entrance covered with a sheet. Upon inspection, police discovered Heloysa's body with her hands and feet tied. The fire department was called to retrieve the body, which was taken to the medical examiner's office. The news spread quickly in Cuiabá, shocking everyone. The hashtag Justice for Heloysa started trending immediately as police began making arrests. That same night, civil and military police, supported by the Vigia Mais Mato Grosso program, arrested 3 suspects. Authorities said the first, a 17-year-old teen, confessed and pointed to Benedito and Gustavo as the masterminds and perpetrators. Gustavo was arrested at his grandmother's house. He revealed where the vehicle was. Benedito was detained at Cuiabá Municipal Hospital while accompanying Suellen. On the morning of April 23rd, the 4th suspect, another 17-year-old teen, was captured in the Tropicalville neighborhood. All confessed involvement, revealing the crime was a jealous, premeditated act planned by Benedito. In their statements, the suspects said the original plan was to scare Heloysa, but Benedito's order was clear: kill her. The lead investigator described Benedito as cold and calculating, acting completely normal around Suellen even though he knew Heloysa was already dead. The civil police classified the crime as femicide, robbery, concealment of a corpse, and corruption of minors.
O que eles fariam lá na casa? O que era para eles fazerem? Não. Você não tinha acordado nada com eles? Para agredir, só para dar um susto, para roubar coisa? Eles não tinham instrução? Eles iam chegar lá e iam fazer o quê? Mas o combinado era esse? É isso. O combinado era um susto. E um susto, o que veio na sua cabeça quando falava em um susto? O que é um susto? Porque, veja bem, você está chamando o seu filho e 2 meninos que você não conhecia, é isso? Para ir até a casa da sua convivente e da sua enteada, né? Para fazer alguma coisa. E, no sentido geral, seria um susto. Né? Mas o que seria um susto na sua cabeça e que instrução você passou para eles? O que era para eles fazerem?
E conversar com ela.
Em que sentido? Que conversa? Porque um susto tem que ser alguma conversa que assuste.
Uma coisa, se não dá mais, se não vai dar mais, nesse sentido.
After his arrest, Benedito tried to twist the story, claiming Suellen asked him to kill Heloysa. He said it was because Heloysa was gay, and Suellen couldn't accept it. The family rejected this claim as nonsense. They said Heloysa had no problems with her mother and that Benedito was just trying to dodge responsibility. Heloysa's funeral on April 23rd gathered family and friends. The family called the loss a pain that destroys and paralyzes. Suellen, still hospitalized, learned of her daughter's death hours after the body was found. Mayor Abilio Brunini and First Lady Samantha Iris issued condolences and renewed calls for justice. The public demanded the maximum sentence, especially given the crime's brutality. Heloysa was a victim of a calculated crime by someone she knew and trusted. She was just 16, her life cut short by revenge and cruelty. Her grieving family now demands justice as Cuiabá struggles to process such violence. Benedito, Gustavo, and the 2 teens await trial. If convicted, Benedito and Gustavo could face up to 30 years in prison. The teens will be held only until they reach adulthood. Well, everyone, that was today's video. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Personally, I found it pretty outrageous. Yeah, there's this wave of stepfathers wanting to get revenge on their partners and using their children to do it. That's when they don't end up practically wiping out the whole family, like in that video I made about Rio Grande do Sul. And for those who haven't watched it yet, I'll leave it here on the end screen so you can check it out. But that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll wrap things up here. A big hug, and see you next time.